Welcome to my channel, where we explore the darkest corners of human nature. Today's episode unveils the disturbing tale of a groom who vanished on his wedding night, exposing shocking secrets about his bride. Michael Anderson, a 32-year-old software engineer, and Olivia Hartley, a 28-year-old elementary school teacher, had just exchanged vows. They celebrated their love in a lavish ceremony at the iconic Carmel Mission Basilica. This historic church, adorned with stunning Spanish colonial architecture, served as the perfect romantic backdrop. Guests would later describe the event as a fairy tale wedding. Little did anyone suspect that this fairy tale would soon morph into a horror story as the sun dipped below the Pacific Ocean, casting a golden glow over the joyous reception. At the upscale Carmel Valley Ranch, guests reveled, dancing and toasting to the newlyweds' happiness. Michael and Olivia, high school sweethearts who had weathered a decade together, appeared utterly in love. They exchanged tender glances and stolen kisses throughout the evening, their joy evident to all. As the clock struck 11:30 p.m. and the celebration began to wind down, Michael excused himself to visit the restroom. This would mark the last moment anyone would see him. When he failed to return after 20 minutes, Olivia, filled with concern, enlisted her brother to check on him. The restroom was vacant, and a swift search of the venue revealed no trace of Michael Anderson. He had seemingly vanished into thin air. Initially, guests and family speculated it was a prank, or perhaps that Michael had taken a stroll to collect his thoughts after the day's excitement. However, as hours passed without a sign of the groom, the mood shifted from mild concern to overwhelming panic. Olivia, still donned in her white wedding gown, paced anxiously, mascara streaking down her face as she frantically tried to reach Michael on his cell phone. By 3 a.m., with no word from him, the reality of the situation began to settle like a heavy fog. In the face of uncertainty, Olivia made the heart-wrenching choice to contact the Monterey County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Sarah Martinez arrived at the scene, her expression somber as she assessed the unsettling situation. A groom missing on his wedding night was a rare and troubling scenario. The seasoned officer recognized instantly that this was no ordinary case. Within days, an extensive search operation unfolded across Carmel and its surrounding areas. Search and rescue teams meticulously scoured the nearby beaches and hiking trails. Divers plunged into the waters off the coast, their hearts heavy with dread. Flyers bearing Michael's photo and description filled the town, while local news stations broadcasted continuous updates, grimly tracking the investigation's progress. Detective James Reeves, a veteran investigator with the Monterey County Sheriff's Office, began to delve into the couple's past. On the surface, Michael Anderson and Olivia Hartley appeared to live a fairy tale, their relationship seemingly flawless. Both Michael and Olivia were well liked in their community, active in local charities, and seemingly devoted to one another. However, as Detective Reeves would soon uncover, beneath this pristine exterior lay hidden truths that threatened to shatter their image. A web of secrets and lies began to unravel, shocking even the most hardened investigator. The first crack in the facade appeared during an interview with Michael Anderson's best friend and best man, Brian Thompson, conducted by Detective James Reeves. Brian, visibly uncomfortable, disclosed that just days before the wedding, Michael had confided in him. He revealed that Michael had unearthed something unsettling about Olivia's past and was contemplating calling off the wedding. While Brian lacked the specifics, he sensed Michael was deeply troubled and conflicted. This revelation cast a new shadow over the case. Had Michael's disappearance been voluntary? Had he simply gotten cold feet and fled? Or was there something far more sinister at play? Detective Reeves felt compelled to scrutinize the bride, Olivia Hartley. To the outside world, Olivia embodied the distraught newlywed, pleading for Michael's safe return in interviews, her pain appearing all too genuine. Olivia's emotional pleas for Michael's safe return elicited sympathy from both the community and the media. Yet, as the investigation deepened, inconsistencies in her narrative began to surface. A breakthrough emerged when detectives uncovered financial records revealing substantial sums of money transferred out of Michael's accounts in the weeks leading up to the wedding. These transactions had been authorized using Michael's credentials. However, the timing and amounts of the transactions raised serious suspicions. Confronted with this evidence, Olivia feigned ignorance, insisting that Michael managed all their finances. As detectives probed deeper into Olivia's background, they made a startling discovery. Olivia Hartley was not who she claimed to be. Fingerprint analysis revealed that she was, in fact, Sarah Blackwood, a woman reported missing from her home in Portland, Oregon, over a decade ago. The revelation sent shockwaves through the community. How could the beloved elementary school teacher, known for her kindness and dedication to her students, be living under a false identity? The answer, as investigators would soon unveil, lay in a dark and twisted tale of deception that spanned years. Sarah Blackwood's story lay in a dark and twisted tale of deception that spanned years. Growing up in a troubled home in Portland, her father, a prominent businessman, had subjected her to emotional and physical abuse. At the age of 18, Sarah had vanished without a trace. Leaving behind a haunting note that expressed her inability to endure the abuse any longer, Sarah Blackwood had been presumed dead and the case had grown cold. Yet Sarah had not perished. She had reinvented herself as Olivia Hartley, relocating to California and meticulously constructing a new identity. It was there that she met Michael Anderson during their college years. Over the years, Olivia Hartley had woven an intricate web of lies to conceal her true identity. The pressing question remained: had Michael Anderson uncovered the truth about his bride? If so, what fate had befallen him as the investigation unfolded? As the investigation progressed, more disturbing details emerged. Forensic analysis of the couple's shared computer revealed that someone had been researching methods to disappear without a trace in the weeks leading up to the wedding. Strikingly, those searches had been meticulously deleted. Cyber experts managed to recover the erased data. Furthermore, security camera footage from a gas station just outside of Carmel captured a woman resembling Olivia buying a prepaid cell phone along with a substantial amount of cash. On the day before the wedding, confronted with this incriminating evidence, Olivia broke down in tears. She admitted to living under a false identity, yet she vehemently denied any involvement in Michael's disappearance. Through her tears, she insisted that she had intended to reveal her past to Michael after the wedding. She claimed to love him genuinely, expressing her fear that he would leave her if he learned the truth. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the case of the vanishing groom continued to baffle investigators. Despite exhaustive searches and countless interviews, no trace of Michael Anderson could be found. The once idyllic community of Carmel by the Sea now found itself at the heart of a national media frenzy. Theories abounded. Some speculated that Michael had discovered Olivia's true identity and fled, unable to cope with the betrayal. Others proposed that Olivia, fearing exposure, had orchestrated Michael's disappearance. The most sinister theories suggested that Michael had been murdered, his body hidden somewhere in the vast wilderness surrounding Carmel. Then the case took another unexpected turn. 6 months after the ill-fated wedding, hikers traversing the rugged terrain of Big Sur, approximately 30 miles south of Carmel, stumbled upon a weathered backpack concealed in a remote area of the Baranda Trail. Inside the backpack were men's clothing, a significant amount of cash, and a passport belonging to Michael Anderson. This shocking discovery reignited the investigation. Search teams once again scoured the rugged landscape of Big Sur, desperate to find any trace of Michael. Cadaver dogs were deployed, but no human remains were located. However, the location of the backpack suggested that Michael had made it this far on his own. Forensic analysis of the backpack and its contents raised more questions than answers. While the passport and clothes were undeniably Michael's, no fingerprints or DNA evidence could confirm whether he had personally placed the backpack there. The cash inside totaled over $50,000, leading investigators to believe that Michael had meticulously planned his disappearance. As the investigation deepened, detectives uncovered more about Olivia's past life as Sarah Blackwood, revealing that her father, Robert Blackwood, had died under suspicious circumstances. The investigators began to suspect that Michael Anderson had orchestrated his own disappearance. As the inquiry deepened, detectives unearthed unsettling truths about Olivia Hartley, known now as Sarah Blackwood. They discovered that her father, Robert Blackwood, had died under suspicious circumstances. Just months before Sarah's disappearance, her father's death had been officially labeled an accident. Yet whispers of foul play lingered in the air, raising the haunting question: could Sarah have played a role in her father's untimely demise? This revelation added a chilling layer of complexity to the unfolding mystery. If Michael had uncovered not only Olivia's hidden identity, but also her potential connection to her father's death, it might explain his sudden vanishing act. Fear for his life could have propelled him to flee, yet a lingering question persisted. Why had Michael not come forward? If he were alive and in hiding, surely he would have noticed the extensive media coverage surrounding his disappearance. His silence was a perplexing and troubling riddle as the one-year anniversary of Michael's vanishing drew near. The case had morphed into one of the most discussed mysteries of recent times. True crime podcasts dissected every detail, internet sleuths scoured over the evidence, and the residents of Carmel by the Sea found themselves overshadowed by an unresolved tragedy. Olivia, now living as Sarah, remained in Carmel but was under constant scrutiny. The revelation of her true identity had cost her, leading to the loss of her teaching job and resulting in her ostracization from a community that once embraced her. Despite the growing suspicion, she maintained her innocence, fervently insisting that she loved Michael and had nothing to do with his mysterious disappearance. The relentless stress of the ongoing investigation and the media frenzy took a toll on Olivia. Once vibrant and outgoing, she retreated into solitude, rarely leaving her home. Those who caught a glimpse of her remarked on how much older she appeared, her spirit seemingly diminished by the weight of her secrets and the uncertainty that loomed over her future. In an unexpected twist, 18 months after Michael's disappearance, Olivia reached out to Detective James Reeves. She claimed to have recalled something that could prove crucial to the investigation. In a lengthy interview, Olivia stated that in the weeks leading up to the wedding, Michael had exhibited increasingly strange behavior. He had been making secretive phone calls and appeared visibly distracted and anxious. This startling revelation prompted investigators to delve into Michael's phone records prior to his disappearance. They uncovered a series of calls made to a number located in Mexico. When traced, the number was linked to a small beachside hotel in Tulum, a popular tourist haven on the Yucatan Peninsula. Detective Reeves and his team made the journey to Tulum, hopeful that they might finally unravel the mystery. Upon arrival at the hotel, they showed Michael's picture to the staff. To their astonishment, one of the employees recognized him. The man recounted that someone matching Michael's description had stayed at the hotel for several months, under the alias of David Green. According to the hotel employee, David had arrived alone, paying in cash and maintaining a distant demeanor. Abruptly, he vanished about 6 months prior, leaving no forwarding address. An employee recalled his unusual behavior. He seemed perpetually on edge, a man haunted by unseen demons. In a shocking revelation, it appeared that Michael Anderson had been running from something. This new information sent shockwaves through the investigation, turning everything on its head. If Michael had indeed fled to Mexico, it raised troubling questions about the nature of his disappearance. Why would he choose to abandon everything he had known? Was it possible that he had uncovered Olivia Hartley's secrets? What had once seemed like a potential murder mystery now morphed into a tale of betrayal and deception. Back in Carmel, Olivia faced an uncomfortable spotlight. She insisted she had no idea about Michael's intentions or his whereabouts. Yet skepticism surrounded her. Her history of deceit cast a long shadow over her claims, making it challenging for anyone to believe her words. The investigation took another dramatic twist when detectives, pursuing leads from Mexico, unearthed information indicating that a man resembling Michael had crossed the border into Belize 3 months after his departure from Tulum. Once again, the trail went cold, leaving the investigators frustrated. As the second anniversary of Michael's disappearance loomed, the case remained an enigma. Michael Anderson had seemingly vanished into thin air, leaving behind a tangled web of lies and unanswered questions. The community of Carmel by the Sea found itself forever altered by the tragic events of that fateful wedding night. Residents were divided in their opinions. Some believed Olivia was a victim, an innocent woman ensnared by her past, while others viewed her as a manipulative figure who had driven her husband to flee. The truth, as is often the case in such matters, likely resided somewhere in the murky middle. Unable to endure the relentless scrutiny and whispers, Olivia eventually left Carmel. She sought refuge in a small town in Northern California, attempting to reconstruct her life, all the while haunted by the specter of her past and the unresolved mystery of Michael's disappearance. For Michael's family, particularly his parents, Thomas and Margaret Anderson, the emotional toll was immense. They found themselves trapped in a state of perpetual limbo. Without proof of his death, they were unable to mourn, yet the years passed without any sign of hope for his return. In their grief, they became advocates for missing persons. dedicating their efforts to assist other families facing similar heartache. The case of the vanishing groom became a cautionary tale, illustrating that even in the most idyllic settings, darkness can linger just beneath the surface. It ignited discussions surrounding identity, trust, and the secrets we hide from those closest to us. As the investigation deepened, Michael's family, particularly his parents, Thomas and Margaret Anderson, found themselves trapped in a state of perpetual limbo. They were unable to mourn their son, lost in the shadows of uncertainty. With each retelling, the questions remained. What had truly happened to Michael Anderson? Where had he gone after leaving Tulum? As news of these developments spread, public sentiment began to shift dramatically. Many who had once sympathized with Olivia now found themselves questioning her role in the unfolding drama. If Michael had indeed fled voluntarily, what secrets lay buried beneath the surface? Facing similar uncertainty, the case of the vanishing groom evolved into a cautionary tale, a stark reminder that even in the most picturesque places, darkness can lurk just beneath the surface. It ignited conversations about identity, trust, and the secrets we conceal from those we hold dear. As the years slipped by, the mystery of Michael Anderson's disappearance became woven into the local lore of Carmel by the Sea. Tour guides began to highlight the Carmel Mission Basilica, a landmark forever entwined with the haunting tale of the missing groom. The historic site, once vibrant with celebration, now stood as a backdrop to one of the most perplexing disappearances in recent memory. Over the years, periodic new leads surfaced, igniting brief flurries of activity in the cold case. A man in Costa Rica bore an uncanny resemblance to Michael Anderson, while a woman in Australia claimed to have dated someone matching his description. Each lead was meticulously investigated, yet none led to Michael. 5 years after Michael's mysterious disappearance, on what would have been his wedding anniversary with Olivia Hartley, a peculiar package arrived at the Monterey County Sheriff's Office. Inside, they found a USB drive containing a video file that would change everything. In the video, Michael appeared older and weary, sitting on a beach at sunset. With a heavy heart, he broke his silence, revealing that he had discovered Olivia's true identity before their wedding. The shock and hurt from her deception weighed heavily on him. Michael had planned to confront her after the ceremony. However, as he delved deeper into Sarah Blackwood's past, he uncovered something even more disturbing. He claimed to have found evidence that suggested Olivia, also known as Sarah, had been involved in her father's death. Fearful for his own safety, he made the agonizing decision to disappear. He expressed sorrow for the pain he caused his family, but insisted he had no other choice. The video concluded with Michael stating that by the time anyone viewed it, he would be in a place where no one could find him. He urged everyone to move on and seek peace in their lives. The community was rocked by this revelation, offering some closure while confirming that Michael was indeed alive. Yet, it raised new, unsettling questions. Where was Michael now, and could his accusations about Olivia's involvement in her father's death hold any truth? In light of these revelations, investigators reopened the case surrounding Robert Blackwood's death, scrutinizing it with fresh eyes. They uncovered inconsistencies in the original investigation, suggesting that the initial ruling of accidental death might have been hasty. However, without concrete evidence, proving any wrongdoing remained elusive. Confronted with Michael's allegations, Olivia maintained her innocence. She acknowledged fleeing an abusive home but vehemently denied any involvement in her father's demise. The years spent living under a false identity had taken their toll, leaving her a mere shadow of the vibrant woman she once was. As the case faded from public attention once again, the residents of Carmel by the Sea pondered the elusive nature of truth. Identity and the secrets we all carry lingered in the air. The picturesque town, with its charming cottages and stunning views, became forever intertwined with a mystery that defied easy answers. The tale of Michael and Olivia transformed into a modern legend, a haunting story of love and deception. It was a tale of betrayal and the desperate lengths to which individuals might go to escape their past. The case served as a haunting reminder that the most shocking secrets often lie hidden beneath a veneer of normalcy. Ultimately, the story of the vanishing groom would leave an indelible mark on all those involved. It changed lives, shattered reputations, and compelled a community to confront uncomfortable truths. The picturesque coastline of Carmel by the Sea, once a symbol of peace and romance, now bore the weight of that tragedy. For those familiar with the case, the passage of time took on a darker significance. As years morphed into decades, the mystery surrounding Michael Anderson's disappearance continued to enrapture the public imagination. His case became the focus of countless books and documentaries, each attempting to unravel the threads of what had once seemed like a fairy tale wedding gone tragically wrong. In Carmel by the Sea, the lingering impact of the case had endured long after the media frenzy had settled. Each new interpretation, whether in print or on screen, added layers to the story, blurring the lines between fact and fiction. The Carmel Mission Basilica, a once popular wedding venue, experienced a noticeable decline in ceremonies as couples became hesitant to tempt fate. Meanwhile, the Carmel Valley Ranch, site of the ill-fated reception, underwent a rebranding effort, desperately attempting to distance itself from the haunting association with the infamous disappearance. 20 years after Michael vanished, a breakthrough breathed new life into the cold case. A marine biologist, exploring a remote underwater cave system off the coast of Belize, stumbled upon a waterproof case lodged within a crevice. Inside the case lay a journal, its pages filled with entries spanning several years. The handwriting unmistakably belonged to Michael Anderson. The journal offered a chilling glimpse into Michael's life on the run. He detailed his relentless fear of being discovered, his deep regret for abandoning his family, and the torment of knowing Olivia's betrayal. The entries painted a portrait of a man caught between the desire for safety and an aching longing for the life he had left behind. Most hauntingly, the final entry, dated just 2 years before the journal was found, hinted at Michael's intention to confront his past. He expressed plans to return to the United States and face the consequences of his actions. Yet, the journal concluded abruptly, leaving investigators to ponder the fate of Michael after that last hopeful entry. The revelation of the journal reignited public interest in the case, as speculation swirled around Michael's fate. Had he followed through on his plan to return? If so, what had prevented him from resurfacing? Or had something sinister occurred before he could make his way back? Meanwhile, Olivia Hartley, now in her late 40s, had crafted a quiet life for herself in a small town in Oregon, ironically not far from her childhood home. Under the name Sarah Blackwood, she had legally reclaimed her birth name and was working as a freelance writer, far removed from the chaos of her past. As the news of the journal's discovery broke, Olivia Hartley remained steadfast in her silence, avoiding the media frenzy that surrounded the case. Through a brief statement released by her lawyer, she expressed a glimmer of hope that the journal might finally provide answers regarding Michael Anderson's mysterious disappearance. In her statement, Olivia maintained her innocence regarding both Michael's vanishing act and her father's tragic death. She pleaded for privacy as the investigation continued to unfold, casting a shadow over her life. Meanwhile, Detective James Reeves, now retired, watched the developments with a mix of interest and nostalgia. The case had shaped his career, but even in retirement, it haunted him. With the current investigator's blessing, Reeves volunteered his expertise, eager to assist in analyzing the newly uncovered evidence that could potentially change everything. As Reeves meticulously sifted through the journal entries, he stumbled upon something others had overlooked. Certain phrases and references in Michael's writings struck him as coded messages, echoing with deeper significance. Drawing from his extensive experience, he began to decode what he suspected was a hidden message nestled within the text. After weeks of painstaking analysis, Reeves experienced a breakthrough. He believed he had identified coordinates buried within the journal entries. These coordinates pointed to a location in the thick forests of the Pacific Northwest, alarmingly close to Sarah Blackwood's childhood home. Without delay, a team of investigators set out towards the coordinates, braving the grueling trek through rugged terrain. Their efforts led them to a small, abandoned cabin that seemed to whisper secrets of its past. Inside, they uncovered signs that someone had inhabited the space until recently. Among the remnants was a laptop computer, a potential goldmine of information. The search party stumbled upon a small, abandoned cabin. Inside, they discovered evidence indicating someone had been living there until very recently. Among the discarded items lay a laptop computer. Forensic analysis of the device unearthed a treasure trove of information. Instead, the files pointed towards a conspiracy involving Robert Blackwood's business partners, revealing a web of deceit that had remained hidden for far too long. Additionally, the laptop contained a video file reminiscent of the one Michael had sent years earlier. This new footage featured a visibly aged Michael, who began to unravel the truth. In this heartfelt revelation, Michael disclosed that after uncovering the truth behind Robert Blackwood's death, he had orchestrated his own disappearance to protect himself and Olivia while gathering vital evidence. He had spent years meticulously investigating the case, always managing to stay one step ahead of those who might wish to silence him. Throughout his ordeal, he had left behind clues, hoping that someone would eventually piece together the puzzle. The journal discovered in Belize and the coded messages were all part of his elaborate plan to bring the truth to light. As the video progressed, Michael expressed profound remorse for the anguish he had caused his family and Olivia. He explained that his initial flight was born from fear and confusion, but as he delved deeper into the conspiracy surrounding Robert Blackwood's death, he realized returning without evidence would only endanger those he loved. The video concluded with Michael's heartfelt declaration of his intention to turn himself in and present the evidence he had painstakingly gathered to the authorities, hoping to finally bring justice to light. In the midst of unraveling the circumstances surrounding Robert Blackwood's death, Michael faced a harrowing realization. He couldn't return without endangering those he loved. The chilling video concluded with Michael declaring his intention to surrender and present his evidence to the authorities. In a desperate bid to bring closure, Michael Anderson reached out to authorities, hoping to unravel the tangled web of deceit surrounding him. Tragically, he never delivered his findings. Just 2 days after the cabin was discovered, a grim reality set in when a body washed ashore near Eureka, California. Dental records confirmed the identity of the lifeless figure, Michael Anderson. The autopsy disclosed a harrowing truth. Michael had succumbed to a gunshot wound. This revelation marked a critical juncture in an already convoluted investigation. Had Michael been silenced by those involved in the conspiracy he had uncovered, or could there be yet another twist in this unfolding saga? As news of his tragic demise spread, the serene community of Carmel by the Sea found itself thrust once more into the harsh glare of public scrutiny. The heartbreaking conclusion to Michael's story cast a pall over the town. Residents who had once judged him for his mysterious disappearance now grappled with profound sorrow, reflecting on the life he had led in the shadows and the tragic circumstances surrounding his death. Olivia Hartley, upon hearing the devastating news, was left reeling. In her first public appearance in years, she delivered a poignant interview, tears streaming down her face as she expressed her grief and remorse. She spoke of her love for Michael, the unbearable pain of their separation, and her fervent hope that the truth would finally emerge. The evidence Michael had meticulously gathered led to a cascade of high-profile arrests and convictions. Several influential business figures were implicated in Robert Blackwood's death, along with a multitude of other illicit activities, sending shockwaves through the corporate world. This upheaval prompted urgent calls for enhanced oversight and transparency in business practices. Meanwhile, Olivia Hartley found herself finally exonerated of any involvement in her father's death, her innocence casting her in a new light. The revelation that she had been a victim rather than a perpetrator shifted public perception dramatically. Many who had vilified her in the past began to see her as a woman who had suffered immensely due to circumstances beyond her control. In the aftermath of these profound revelations, Olivia chose to honor Michael's legacy by founding the Michael Anderson Foundation for Truth and Justice. This organization aimed to assist individuals who had been wrongly accused or victimized by corporate crime. Through her tireless efforts, Olivia found a semblance of peace and purpose. The saga of Michael and Olivia transcended mere sensationalism. It transformed into a cautionary tale illuminating the perils of deception, the far-reaching repercussions of corporate greed, and the indomitable resilience of the human spirit ignited essential conversations about identity, trust, and the essence of truth in contemporary society. In Carmel by the Sea, life gradually settled back into its routine. Yet, the town would forever bear the imprint of the events that had transpired. The case became woven into the fabric of the town's history, a haunting tale recounted to visitors and passed down through generations. Over time, the once shocking story of the vanishing groom evolved into a legend. This case encapsulated the complexities of human nature and the unpredictable twists of fate. It served as a haunting reminder that sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction, and that even in the most idyllic settings, unexpected events can transpire. The beaches of Carmel, with their golden sands and crashing waves, continued to draw visitors from around the globe. Yet for those privy to the dark history of the case, the picturesque scenery held a much deeper significance. It stood as a testament to the enduring mystery of the human heart and the secrets we carry within. Ultimately, the saga of Michael Anderson and Olivia Hartley became a poignant reminder of love's power and the burdens of hidden truths. The unforeseen ways in which our lives can be irrevocably altered by our choices became painfully clear. Their story, filled with twists and turns, morphed into a modern epic of love, loss, deception, and redemption. This tale would be remembered long after the protagonists had departed. As the sun began to set over Carmel by the sea, casting elongated shadows across the beach where Michael and Olivia once strolled hand in hand, the town settled into a tranquil quiet. The mystery that had haunted the community for so long was finally laid to rest, yet its legacy persisted. A poignant reminder of the fragile line between truth and deception, and the enduring power of a love story that defied all expectations. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling journey into the enigmatic case of the vanishing groom. We hope this tale has captivated your imagination and ignited a curiosity about the complexities of human nature and the unpredictable twists of fate. We extend our heartfelt gratitude for your time and attention, recognizing your keen interest in our true crime narratives. Your unwavering support inspires us to continue illuminating the darker aspects of the human experience, while also celebrating resilience and the relentless pursuit of truth. Behind every sensational headline lies a labyrinth of human emotions, motivations, and circumstances. The case of Michael Anderson and Olivia Hartley serves as a stark reminder that the truth often reveals itself to be more intricate and surprising than what we initially presume. As the curtain falls on this chapter, we eagerly anticipate welcoming you back for more captivating tales in our upcoming videos. Countless untold stories linger in the shadows, each promising to unveil unique insights into the intricacies of the human condition. Until we meet again, remain curious and compassionate. Remember, the most shocking secrets often lie hidden in plain sight. Thank you once more, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.